Hi everyone, welcome to Open Source Friday. I'm Kedasha. I work as a developer advocate here at GitHub, and I'm super excited to be here today to talk to Sean from Ruby for Good about their project, Human Essentials. I'm super excited about this project because how do you help 3 million children get diapers? That is something I'm really, really keen to hear. Hello, hello, hello. I see Pakistan, Sweden, um, and a lot more other countries are in the house. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to invite Sean to join me on stage. And here he is. Hey, Sean, how are you today?
Hey, awesome. So excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, super excited to have you on the stream. Hello, world. That's a good one, Dave. So, Sean, happy to have you, and we're just gonna jump right into it, right? So, tell me about Ruby for Good before we even get into Human Essentials. What is Ruby for Good?
Yeah. So Root for Good, it's a nonprofit with a. It has like a three-part mission. Like a lot of people know us as like the nonprofit that helps other nonprofits, but we do have this like three-part mission of like one, growing the developer community, especially the parts of the community that are most underrepresented. Two is providing like learning opportunities for people in tech, like regardless if you're brand new and you're just trying to figure out your first gnarly merge conflict, to if you're a seasoned engineer at GitHub. And then the third part of our mission is helping nonprofits, the kind of thing I think we're most famous for, like writing software, writing code for other nonprofits, like animal shelters, food banks, diaper banks, places like
Yeah.
that. And we also put on like events where we all get together, and they're kind of like nerd retreats. We code in the day, and then at night we do a lot of board games and sing karaoke, and we all stay on site, usually in university dorms or something. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So tell me more about Human Essentials. What is Human Essentials? How did you even come up with this idea?
Yeah, well, so nonprofits, like they come to us to like needing help, and this one started back in, I think, 2015. Wow, back in 2015, a diaper bank in Portland. This amazing lady Rachel. She said like, "Hey, can you help us with some custom software for our diaper bank?" Because like they were using like Google Sheets and text files and notepads, and it was a really convoluted way of like maintaining all their inventory. And I was like, "Yeah, we can help you." And so we wrote Rachel some software, and then and she started using it, and she went to a big national diaper conference, like of
Mhm.
other diaper banks, and she showed off like what we'd built, and then she came back to us and said like, "Hey, everybody wants to use this." And so
Oh,
then
wow.
we rebuilt it as like a multi-tenant software, because like what we built was like really just for one, and so we rebuilt it, and started, and it's just kind of grown from there. First we had 5, then we had 10, then there was 20 like diaper banks using it, and now there's, I think, like 200 or so using it.
Yeah.
Um and, and it's amazing too, because like diaper banks work the same as like a food bank. Like they don't give like diapers and period supplies directly to the public. They give it to other nonprofits, like shelters and like high school programs and things
Mm.
like that. So like all told, I think there's about 5,000 nonprofits across the country using this software, which is pretty cool.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's so cool. And it's just like you don't even have to advertise or anything. It's just like word of mouth, like, hey, this is the software that we use. Go check it out.
Yeah, exactly. And well, actually, the cool kind of thing is a couple years ago, the big National Diaper Bank Network and the Alliance for Period Supplies, like the two big national organizations that all the diaper banks or period supply banks in the country are members of, they actually came to us and said like, "Hey, we want to endorse this," and so now they endorse it for
Nice.
all like period supply banks and diaper supply banks across the country, which is kind of cool.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So can we see how it works? Like what is it? What does the software look like?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I'd love to show that. Can I share? Yeah. So so first here's the repository on GitHub, and if you want to come contribute, definitely just GitHub Ruby for Good / human dash essentials, and grab an open issue if you'd like, or submit a pull request. We'd love to support, or even sponsor us. That'd be great. But so here's the application. and like I said, a big part of the workflow for like diaper banks is like partners, and they all have partners. And this is obviously like just our staging account, like staging.human essentials. And so if you do want to come in and play with this, you can. And so you can come see partner agencies, and you can see that they have the partners come and they make requests. And it's probably going to be a little bit slow because again, it's just a staging server, not super good. But yeah, like a partner comes and they request some diapers. They the software handles all the tracking of the inventory, sending emails out, automated emails, scheduling the partners to come and pick up their diapers and their period supplies. And the whole gamut. And it's pretty complicated software, as you can see here. Like there's even like it does like forecasting and well, I guess like again, the stage it is, it's not going to be very interesting. And since the data resets every night, these charts aren't going to be very useful. But like all the life cycle of a diaper bank or period supply bank, it manages.
Nice. And so like what technologies are you using to build this in addition to Ruby?
Yeah, so it's primarily Ruby, like Ruby on Rails. Again, like there's JavaScript in there because I don't think you can build anything on the web that doesn't use JavaScript. And aside from that, that's pretty much it. Like kind of like some standard, like like Ubuntu servers, like Nginx, like they're just kind of standard. But like just for software, it's pretty much a standard Ruby on Rails app, which it's also like really served us well. Like just kind of going just with a standard Ruby, standard Rails, and like it's been really easy because, like I said, this started in 2015, and we've been progressively working on it and upgrading it and maintaining it, and and the cool thing is like we're 100% volunteer based. Like we don't have any paid people, so which is also kind of amazing that we have this. It's helping, like you said, 3 million plus kids a year, and not a single person has ever been paid to work on this, and just. I don't know. It kind of tells me what an amazing community we have that this happens. So
that's awesome. So when it comes to maintaining this project, especially without funding, how do you find the time to dedicate to maintaining the repository, working with contributors across the project and such? Like, what is that process like for you?
Yeah, and so like there's a really great team of folks working on this. And like there's regular kind of like office hours. They meet, and definitely if anyone's interested and you want to take part, come to the office hours, join the community. It's a really good group of people, and they all like to talk code and that kind of thing. So come and like chat about code, chat about the software, and it's just like any other kind of, I guess, open source project, except for maybe the people working on it a little bit more mission driven. But yeah, like. I don't know. It's been working.
Cool. And have there been any new recent features or anything that you've integrated into the application that may be of interest to our audience?
Ooh, I would have to go look on GitHub.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's see some recently closed. We probably got some Dependabot stuff here.
Yeah.
So we got some inventory monitoring jobs. I don't know what that is.
And so while you're looking for something, I see Marisol says, I used to work for a nonprofit that gives families diapers. This would be great for them. Donate to Hively, Bananas in Oakland, and 4Cs. That is awesome, Marisol. If you could tell them about this project, I'm sure they would definitely benefit from it. Does it cost nonprofits anything to use this, or?
Oh no, it's completely like I said, like it's all volunteer. So like the software is provided for free for all these diaper banks and their partners, and so it's all run basically all volunteer run.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something interesting. We updated the calendar in the app.
Okay.
I should look at what the pull requests coming are. Maybe that's more interesting. So we got some error handling that people are working on. We got some event sourcing. I don't know what event sourcing is. I guess this is watching me read pull requests is maybe not super interesting.
Yeah. No, of
uh,
course it is interesting. We do that every single day.
yeah.
So for those just joining this project, it's called Human Essentials, and it is a inventory tracking
Yeah.
application that helps nonprofits to
Yeah.
deliver public goods to people in the community, essentially.
Yeah. One of the, like we just had like I mentioned, we do in-person events, and about a month ago, we just had an in-person event where there was a lot of work done. And so like now we're kind of catching up on all that work. And we can see some of these are all labeled, Ruby for Good DC, because the event was held in DC. And so like, there's a lot of catching up now on all this work and trying to integrate it in. And so, yes.
So
But
what would
like,
I'll keep
sorry, go
going.
ahead.
There you go.
I was gonna say, but like if you are interested, we do. If you go to the Ruby for Good website, rubyforgood.org, and you click on Join Us and Get Involved, down here we have a link to our Slack, and if you join us in Slack, we have a channel for Human Essentials, and we would love to get you set up and hooked up and contributing. And you don't just have to be a developer, product design, anyone who just wants to come do good with us.
Nice. And be sure to give the project a star in GitHub if this is something you're interested in. Like if you're a developer and you would love to use your skills to do some good in the world, or as Ruby for Good says, make the world gooder, you can definitely tap into this project and start, contributing to it. And contributing doesn't have to be technical, right? You can do documentation updates. If you see like an error in the examples or anywhere in the repository, that can count as a contribution as well. And the core tech stack used in this project, according to Sean, is Ruby on Rails, and JavaScript. That's how this is being ran.
Yes.
Thank you, Peter. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, and if you're interested in different technologies, like there's the CASA project. This helps kids like foster youths and like kids in the foster system, and they're doing really good work. All the CASAs in the state of Maryland are using the software that we've written, and I think it's about to start branching to other states. And so there's a lot of work to be done with this. And you see like there's 70 open issues. So definitely, if you want to come get involved, help help our communities. We'd love it. CASA, CASA is it's both a term and a person. It's a court appointed special advocates. Okay. And it's people who advocate for like foster youths, like, and so, and like, if I don't know how aware you are about like the foster care system, but there's there's really depressing statistics, like kids in the foster care system, like how like a lot of them end up incarcerated, most don't finish school, but kids in the foster system that have CASAs in their life they're like 95% more likely to finish high school. They're, 95% less likely to end up incarcerated, like just really good statistics. Cause like they have someone on their side. Like they're not on the court side. They're not on their foster family side. They're on the, like the youth side. And so like, they're just an amazing group. And like, there's, about 1,000 chapters throughout the country. And, yeah, and we started working with them a couple of years ago. And again, this is kind of taking the same trajectory as like that, like the Human Essentials, where we started with one, and then now there's like 10, and I can maybe in a year there's going to be 100, and using it, and it's again like doing a lot of good, helping a lot of people.
That's amazing. And are any of these projects, are they participating in Hacktoberfest next month? That's going to be a great opportunity to get a lot of contributors contributing to your projects.
Yes. And actually, I even just see on the CASA there that they have the Hacktoberfest label. So yeah, nice. Get your Hacktoberfest swag by helping foster youth.
Nice. And I'm assuming CASA is also built with Ruby, Rails, JavaScript.
Yes. Yeah. All those like the same.
Cool. Can this be used for advocate for the elderly?
Maybe. I don't know. Like the code, like in both these projects, they're fully they're fully MIT licensed, open source. So if you if you were like a tool bank maybe, or like a kind of another inventory kind of bank, I could see human essentials being useful.
Mhm.
But yeah, like maybe volunteer management for the elderly. I don't know. Like I'd have to understand the domain and stuff, but like definitely like take a look at the software and whatnot, because it does um, a lot of like generates court reports and things like that too. So yeah, so if that's something that the elderly need, definitely.
Cool. And when it comes to starting projects with Ruby for Good, can anyone just submit their own projects on for that organization?
Kind of like you can have a conversation with us. Like yes, like we do. Like people come to us and nonprofits come to us. And like there's some criteria, like for like submitting a project or like us taking on a project. Like because sometimes like we'll adopt one too, like one that's being out there in the community. Like we just actually just adopted this pet rescue open source software that we're going to multi-tenant and allow a lot of
Oh, nice.
animal rescues to use, because like the situation right now with like rescues and like dogs and whatnot is it's pretty depressing, because like they all got adopted right during the pandemic, and now people are giving them back and stuff. So so we want to help these rescues. But yes, you can submit us projects to us. And I think if you look on the website, like there's a thing to basically start a conversation with us, and we can try and like have a conversation with you.
Sounds good. Do y'all have any more questions? Otherwise, I'm going to ask you one more question. So, when it comes to maintaining multiple projects in an org on GitHub, what has been the most rewarding aspect of that process for you?
I don't know, like it's kind of fun, and like I like some of the things that GitHub does too, where it shows you like someone's first, it's their first pull request, and like
Mhm.
it's I don't know, I think it's kind of fun just to see like for me, it's really rewarding to see like, hey, someone submitted their first pull request to one of these projects, and like because I know like open source can be really intimidating for people, like especially your first pull request, your first commit and stuff, and so I really like that a lot of people's first commits have been on Ruby for Good issues and Ruby for Good projects. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And like, I don't know, I find it so interesting that you're maintaining this project and also this org without being paid or like, funding and such. So like how does that work? If somebody else wanted to start a nonprofit organization where they do social good with code, how can they get started with that?
um I don't know, like, because I don't think we do it right. Because again, like we, because at the end of the day, like we don't have we get some sponsorship. We, we hold a couple of those events during the year, so we have a little bit of money in the bank. But at the end of the day, too, it would be nice to have some funding. But I would just say like do it if someone is interested, because like there are people and there are a lot of people that want to contribute. Like just as you see, like if you look at this project here, like Casa, they've had 315 people contribute to this, and so
Mm.
like there's obviously like demand, and people want to contribute to open source, especially like open source for good projects, and so yeah, so I just say start those projects and do it.
And how do you get the word out about what you're doing? Do you do like social promotions? Do you have like Ruby communities that you post to? Like, what is that like for you?
Yeah, so like we're lucky now that we've built up a really good reputation in the community, like Ruby for Good has, and so like a lot of people come to like now Ruby for Good looking to contribute to like taking part. We have a really good like Slack that I mentioned earlier, where there's like a few thousand people in, and we will announce things out on like LinkedIn and I guess it's X now, but we use
Right.
X a lot less now that it's kind of whatever it is now, but we do like we like there's usually a Ruby for Good person or a gooder at any conference you go to. So look for someone wearing a Ruby for Good shirt and they'll get you involved.
Nice. That's amazing. I noticed that Human Essentials, it has the digital public good sticker or badge or association.
Yes.
How did you get that? Like how did that come about? And what does it even mean to be a digital public good?
Yeah, no, that was really cool. Like, right, like they were awarded like this recognition. Like, so a digital public good, it's it's a United Nations initiative to recognize like projects that are addressing the United Nations SDGs, like Sustainable Development Goals, like things like ending poverty, like helping the environment. Like there's 17 of them. Oh, okay, I see someone link to it. But yeah, like there's 17 SDGs, and like this Human Essentials was submitted as a project that is helping several of the SDGs, and like I think if we go to it, we can probably find out which ones. It's probably in here. Yeah, like ending poverty, healthy lives, and reducing inequality. And so like they recognized that there was like there was a certification project process, and they recognized it, which was really awesome because like all the other all those other SDGs are really really also noble software projects, and so it's pretty cool to be included with them.
I love that. I'm so excited to learn about this project, and I'm excited to know that it's a part of Hacktoberfest. I think that's super exciting, and hopefully a lot of people will help to contribute to the project, and especially CASA as well, to make sure that the project can keep going and keep moving forward as it goes without funding. And if you're interested in sponsoring the project, definitely go ahead and do that. Sean, another question for you is, when it comes to code quality and code security, you're working with nonprofits and they have a lot of sensitive data. How do you make sure that that data is protected?
Yeah, and so like we try and like follow like best practices like on that, where like obviously like using good secure databases, and like our databases are on Azure, and we do like hourly backups. So if something bad does happen, we have a backup that's at most an hour old. But other than that, like we really rely on like all the like things like Brakeman, a lot of like code tools, and also like just like Dependabot, like just how like I don't know, I guess I just take security for granted now that GitHub just kind of gives us all that for free, like all this built-in like scanning tools and secret scanning and just like everything that I don't know, like I guess I take it for granted like how easy this is now because of like just like all these great GitHub tools that are just free for open source projects like this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Dependabot is great. How do you filter how do you like manage Dependabot? I know sometimes it can get a little rowdy, noisy. How do you manage that?
I don't know. And I guess I think I'm also taking a little bit more credit on these projects than I deserve. Like there are like teams and team leads on like all the Ruby for Good projects. I'm kind of like a figurehead too, and so like I'm really good at taking credit and letting the teams do all the hard stuff here. But yeah, we have amazing people like contributing and working on these projects, and we should shout them all out. But but I don't know, like generally I'm overly aggressive on merging all the Dependabots because again, like with this kind of project too, like you said, that's like these are kids, kids in the foster care system. Like you don't want a vulnerability, and you don't want to like it's. So I'd rather err on the side of
Yes, that is absolutely true. So everyone, if you have more questions, pop them below. Otherwise, Sean, how can people contribute to your project? We just want to reiterate it since some folks joined later. I know you mentioned it earlier, but I would love for you to show us how, the issues that you have, the multiple projects that you have again for Ruby for Good, so people know where to go, what to do, and how to get in touch with you in case they want to start a project with Ruby for Good.
Yeah, and so right, so if you want to, like, I would say, like, join us in our Slack, and you can if you go to rubyforgood.org, that's our website, and there's just a tab there. It says join us, and there's an invitation to our Slack. Jump in our Slack, introduce yourself, and we'd love to get you contributing. Or if you don't want to join us in Slack, just you can come to our GitHub page, our organization page. Grab a project that's interesting you. Like I said, maybe it's the foster youths. Look at the issues. Maybe filter on help wanted or good first issue, and then grab one and submit a pull request, and we would love to see your code here soon.
That's great. Thank you so much, Sean, for letting us know how we can contribute. Definitely go check out the projects, and it's Human Essentials and CASA with Ruby for Good. So I have some fun questions for you, Sean, before we wrap up the stream. So do you pronounce GIF with the like how I just said it, or do with the hard G?
I pronounce it like the same G as in garage.
Garage. So GIF. What is your
Well,
favorite thing of? Oh, go ahead.
I was making a joke because there's two G's in garage. One is hard and one is soft, and so,
Oh, that's true.
so I was trying to avoid that.
That flew over my head.
I say GIF. I say GIF.
Nice. And what have you learned recently that's been very interesting?
Oh, geez. I learned about those ticks that make people allergic to eating meat. I guess there's a lot of people becoming allergic to meat because they're getting bitten by ticks, which is really insane.
That is
like red
very
meat.
interesting.
Maybe I should have thought of a happy thing.
I'm vegetarian, thankfully, so that doesn't affect me. But be careful with the red meat out there.
Yeah.
And so I see Marisol had a question. She said, does the Human Essentials application have an external sections for families to request diapers? Great question.
Yeah, and so yeah, and like because it works on the like the bank system where like diaper banks don't give diapers directly to the public; they give it to like these other organizations, like I said, like shelters and maybe high school programs or food pantries or churches, and so like they make the requests, and so yeah, so you would have to then like if someone like did collect diapers, like I said, it's a shelter, like they would maybe have an application on their page, and then they then in their system they log into at the end of the day however they collect their need, and they make requests of the bank that way.
Nice. That
makes sense. Yeah,
that's cool. There's another question that came in. So, do you use any AI assistants for programming? And if yes, then which one do you use and why?
Oh, yes. I use Copilot and I love it. I am such a big fan of it. It just makes my life so much easier. And like all the little things that you just like, it saves me from having to remember stuff. Because like it just and it just lets me focus on like solving the problems. And if I can give myself a plug, in a couple of weeks at Rails World in a conference happening in the Netherlands, I'm actually giving a workshop on AI-driven development, like using tools like Copilot and ChatGPT to help with your software engineering and development.
Nice. That's awesome. I personally love GitHub Copilot too. I use it, and this is not like we're like, oh, GitHub Copilot from GitHub. No, it's like it's really useful. I like to use it a lot for testing, because testing in itself is like a whole different skill set. And I find that GitHub Copilot just like automates that process for me. So I'm definitely a GitHub Copilot fan.
Yeah. Well, and even like writing documentation, like like if you're like a lot of people think it's just for code, but like I have to write like a README up, or I have to like if I start writing documentation, it helps with that, and it's just so I don't know, it just saves me so much time.
Yes, I 100% agree. But thanks so much, Sean, for coming on today. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today on Open Source Friday. Be sure to check out the Human Essentials repository so you can also help children receive diapers across the country. Oh, one question I had for you, Sean, before I send everybody away is, can this project be used across the world, or is it specific to the United States?
No, yeah, like you can use it anywhere. Actually, we just in the last couple months, we've had a couple diaper banks in Canada start using it, and so
wow.
So I guess it's gone international. I don't know. Does Canada count as another country? I don't know.
I mean, it's not the U.S. It's still the Americas, though. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm from Canada, so I'm trolling.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. So if people want to get in touch with you to possibly recommend this to somebody, how can they reach you? Where can they find you? What does that look like?
Yeah, and it's just it's like we're Ruby for Good on LinkedIn, Ruby for Good on Twitter or X or whatever it is now. Slack, email, Sean@rubyforgood.org. All the I guess all the
Socials.
Ruby for Good handles
Social.
everywhere are gonna come to us. Yeah. So
I agree, Michael. Let's definitely make Human Essentials and Ruby for Good international.
yes.
And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for Open Source Friday. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Definitely go contribute to Ruby for Good. Make sure it's in your list of issues planned for Hacktoberfest in October. And stay tuned for the next one. See you next week.
Thanks.